Okay. Welcome to week 8. That's my screen. Okay. Connecting with nature. One of my favorite subjects. And it's just Ayurveda's take on depression. It's an imbalance of mind and body, like we talked about it. And so therefore, it really is going to involves understanding the mind and body, and just like uh, we were talking about, is to, once you understand that this is just the mind or just the body, and it's not really uh, you, your true self, your higher self that is experiencing this experience, then you realize that that depression is really just a definition that we have created over time, and that is really that. It's just a word. If we notice feeling that way, then by now understanding enough about Ayurveda's definition of the body and the instructions that we were given, then we know that it's just a bunch of thoughts in our head, and we can shift it. And so rather than trying to identify with that word or a state, instead we can identify with our true self, which is limitless, which is boundless, which is love and joy and peace. And understand that, hey, I have an imbalance in my body. And so then I look at my nature. I know what my prakriti, my constitution, and since I am a part of nature, then I'm also going to be affected and act through that. When we disconnect from nature, an imbalance in our doshas actually happen. Ayurveda says that the number one cause of all disease is forgetting who we are, who we truly are. That's the first thing. Because once you recognize who you really are and start practicing in that state, then there is no disease. Then you know the things that you need to do to balance the body and the mind. And by the understanding that the body and the mind is just here for us to experience life, then there is no such things as identifying with a certain word or a state of life, you know. So identification with your true self is really key. Depression in general is, according to Ayurveda, is rooted in a disturbed sattva. We talked about sattva, rajas, tamas. Sattva was calm and cool and creative and all-encompassing, everything connected. So when that gets out of balance and sattva becomes muddy a little bit, then the clarity goes away, and it could also be affected by increased rajas, which is agitation. If we have too much rajas in our personality, too much fire, if you would, in a way, then we get affected, and then we'll see the effects of that in the body and the mind. And then in the mind, it could also cause depression or anxiety. Tamas, inertia, when that is in excess, that's definitely going to affect the mind. So then we become our own therapists, if you would, or our own practitioners, understanding that, oh, I feel kind of agitated today. So what did I do? How am I so agitated? Did I increase the rajas in my body? Did I eat something too spicy? Did I have some angry thoughts? And so then we can identify that this is nothing. It just comes from an imbalance that I just came across. I met the wrong person. I talked to the wrong person. I said the wrong things, and it's nothing. I can correct it. And so here I am, putting a smile on my face and getting back to a sattvic mentality and understanding that all is well. And then we'll notice that state will immediately subside. So Ayurveda recommends nature therapy as a part of restoring the balance and the vitality to our body and mind. And as we've talked about several times, Ayurveda's main purpose for treatment is to balance the doshas and balance the body, increase Agni for digestion, and get rid of ama, toxins. And all that is done through so many different techniques, and nature therapy is absolutely one of them. And it's a very good one, because it's important to understand that since we're made of all these elements, right, that we're a part of this whole thing. Everything in nature, like we said, is made of the 5 elements, right? And so are we. And so these are the building blocks of nature. Since these are the building blocks of nature and us, then, since we are a part of nature, right? Then when we connect to it, we get to balance ourselves up. Connecting with nature restores the balance in our doshas. It calms the nervous system, as you experienced, and reduces cortisol levels, which causes stress, enhances serotonin and dopamine levels naturally. So we feel calmer, we feel happier, we feel more at peace. It improves prana. We talked about prana, that is the vital force, life force, energy that really gives us vitality. And when we are in nature, then we're more exposed to increasing the prana in our body through light and air, because air is normally cleaner in nature, of course, and the light that actually we expose ourselves to also helps us increase the prana in our body. The more, prana is something that is really could be a subject all by itself to talk about. But understanding whenever you feel like drained, that you don't have enough energy, you're lacking prana. So that's why we say that take a few deep breaths. Pay attention to your breath going in and out. And be mindful of the breath. And you notice that immediately your energy will come back up because you're adding life force energy to yourself again. Connecting with nature restores your mental clarity, peace. You know, when you go out, you'll notice it. You know, when you come back from a walk by the lake or whatever in nature, you'll notice the difference in you. You know, and nature grounds us. Why? Is because we come from Earth. And so spending time on Earth in nature grounds us. What eventually grounding really means is that it increases our immunity and the will for life. So some of the practices in nature that we could do is we could do pranayama, our breath work, sitting in nature, even if it's just under a tree. I think that sometimes when we talk about being in nature, people go, wow, you know, I don't have time, or, you know, it's too far away. No, nature is right here. Paying attention to your surrounding, this mindfulness really of being mindful of what's going on around you. We're human beings in general feel that we are the masters of the universe and everything is here to serve us. That's not so. We're all connected. Everything is here to serve us, and we're here to serve everything else. And so looking at it in that direction, then when we go out in the nature and start doing our breath work, the pranayama, because of where we are, we get boosted levels of oxygen and prana and light at a much higher rate. Walking meditation is another one that Ayurveda recommends, is walking on grass or soil, calms vata and grounds the body. A lot of people, because of the shoes that we wear these days and the plastic that's under it, it kind of like plastic is not a good conductor of energy, electricity, and because of that, when we are walking on plastic or even wearing plastic clothing, we're disconnecting from natural life. So it's good to take our shoes off and walk around, you know, or be aware that we don't wear plastic for our clothing, and use more natural material like cotton. Meditation in nature energizes chakras. Why? Is because you're there in pure energy, and what is chakras are gateways to the body of taking the energy or in or putting it out of our body. So it's perfect to be out there. Early morning sunlight increases tejas, which is what? Which is the inner glow and radiance. And tejas is directly related to pitta. So when you are in the sunlight, you're actually enhancing the pitta level in your body. And it also, the light, the early morning light especially, also reduces kapha. What does kapha create? Inertia, laziness, right? So that waking up early and saying hello to the sun, or even if you don't wake up early, and when you get up and you go outside and first thing you do, take a look at the sun, get some sun in you, take a few deep breaths. That by itself will start your day in a whole different direction. Sunlight in general helps Agni, which is a digestive fire, which is also responsible for clear thinking, healthy skin glow, strong immunity, and spiritual awareness. Earthing is another method, which is really walking on grass, barefoot, walking, like we just talked about, it connects the body directly to Mother Earth and stabilizes all doshas. From dust we come, to dust we go, as they say, right? That really is an old, yeah, right? So it's reminding us that, hey, that's Mother Earth, connect to it. And it actually helps on the base chakra. It actually grounds the base chakra. And the base chakra is responsible for immunity and feeling alive and wanting to live and wanting to grow. So connecting with nature, also with seasons, enhances immunity and emotional health. Why? Is because the seasons, just like we talked about in our session of rhythms and cycles, if you remember the circadian cycles that we were talking about, when seasons change, our body changes with them. And just being aware of that and noticing that, oh, you know what, I feel colder now, or, you know, I need to wear a little bit more, eat a little different. So when you go with the changes in nature and you actually change with it during that period, you're helping your body balance. You're helping the doshas balance. Because, say, for example, in the summertime, it's going to be hot, right? So your pitta is going to increase automatically. And since you know that pitta is going to increase in the summertime, then you don't go running at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. Or you eat less spicy food. You let your body stay in a cooler environment. All you're doing is balancing the doshas, because the pitta getting out of control could cause damages. And so now, since you know that, you will help balance it by doing the right things and eating the right stuff. And nature is a constant reminder of impermanence and constant change and renewal. That really is something, once again, when we talk about being mindful, right? Then this is so important, because we see nature. When you see a tree leaves with no leaves on it, you will see that that tree is not dead. You're still aware that that tree is alive. There's life going on. And when the right season comes, that the tree is starting to leaf again, and next thing you know, it has flowers and fruits, and that cycle, you know, it constantly is going on. And so that constant change and renewal is a good reminder that that also goes on within us, right? So in springtime, for example, you have to rejuvenate and detoxify. That's like, springtime is for that purpose. So what are we doing really is we got to balance kapha, because kapha increases, as we talked about, in the springtime, right? Pitta increases in the summertime. So in summertime, you got to cool the body and the mind. You would probably get agitated faster in the summertime because pitta levels are higher. And so if you're not doing that balancing of the body, then you will notice that, hey, why am I getting agitated so fast? You notice that. And once again, the mindfulness will take care of that, because you are aware of your inner self as well. In fall and winter time, where it gets colder, right? Then it's important to balance vata with nourishment and grounding, right? nature awareness really is simply just by being mindful that we are a part of it all. Right? We talk about this in almost every class. It's important to understand that this idea of oneness and that we're all connected. The sun, the moon, the trees, oceans, mountains, and everything else in this nature are just pure energy sources that keep us alive and nurtured. Right? So when we get into nature, we're connecting with these things that we're made of. And so therefore, we don't need, everybody doesn't need to be an Ayurvedic practitioner, but when you understand that we're all part of this nature, and when we give ourselves back to our nature by spending time out there, our chakras balance automatically. You don't need to do anything for it. You just need to be there. You need to walk in the park. You need to put your foot on the ground. You need to smile at the birds, just simple gardening, start planting. Even if there is no big backyard, you can have a small pot and maybe grow some mint or basils and watch these things grow. It just rejuvenates you inside out. Yeah. Yeah, because you know what? Because the squirrel doesn't speak the language you do, but they connect with you in that energy feeling. So if you sit there calmly and be at total peace, you'll notice that the squirrel will start walking towards you and not away from you. Or the birds are not afraid of you, especially hummingbirds. They come, they look at you. They stay right in front of your face. It's really, really, really cool thing to experience. But it's just simple stuff, gardening, taking a walk by a creek, spending time under a tree, noticing the flowers and the birds, noticing the air, the air movement, the wind, the sunlight, the moonlight. They're all examples of the abundance of life force around us. So it just makes you feel, you look at the squirrel. Does the squirrel have a schedule? Does the squirrel have a job? Does the squirrel, is the squirrel guaranteed that it's going to find its nuts tomorrow? It's just perfect. When the squirrel is hungry, food is available to it. So it's understanding the balance of nature and how everything is really going according to what it needs to go. It's just calming. It's just relaxing. It's because we feel secure. Connecting to nature also means connecting to your inner self. That's really the biggest, most important aspect of spending time in nature. Because you really talk about spending time, you got to make the time, just like anything else. People say that I don't have time. Well, that's not really true if you start writing down. If anybody says that I don't have time, if you start writing down what you do every day, just write down every activity that you do, you'll notice that there's so much wasted time that you could use feeding yourself positivity and good energy. Absolutely, right? Yeah, yeah. It's you said it. It's paying attention. Once again, going back to mindfulness, being mindful of what everything is around us and where we are in connection to that. Is making a time. It's being aware of the need to reconnect to nature. I would actually feel it. If I don't go for a while, I'm like, I need to go. I really need to get out there and I need to. And if I can't make the drive and go out like 100 miles and do it, it's okay. I'll just go to the park. I just go by a lake. I just go by a creek. I go, it's just anything. I just go sit under a tree. Energy levels are much higher in nature. And that's what I want to do. I want to go and get that energy back to myself, the energy that I lose by all these draining thoughts and emotions that are there. and I need to balance them out and actually reduce them or get rid of them, hopefully altogether. Energy levels are much higher in nature, like we just said. Spending time there, just simple breathing nourishes the body, the mind and spirit. Simple as that. Just walking outside, going under a tree, especially, the air is a lot cleaner under a tree. And regular visits to a nearby park, barefoot walks, like we just talked about, moonlight, sunrise, sunset, watching, and so many more opportunities are available. So it doesn't really need to be a difficult task. Just by making sure that you look at the sun and go, thank you for giving us life. Checking out the moon and just saying, wow, look at how beautiful. And just take a moment out of your day and just appreciate how pretty it is or how safe it's keeping us. You just feel safer by just knowing that all these things are happening for you. Everything is happening to support you. So I put down some helpful reminders that are probably not very hard to think of. But I thought that if it would be neat to just add a few, just for whoever who is going to end up looking at this video or reading this material, and they need help, is add nature awareness to your daily routine. You have a daily routine, just make sure on the top of your mind that I got to connect with nature today too. I haven't been out there for a while. Schedule a hiking or a camping trip. I love camping. Not everybody does, but I think what really gets me enthusiastic about camping is the disconnecting from the everyday hustle and bustle. So when you go camping, don't take your TV with you, you know, or anything really. Just stay with you and nature and whoever is with you. Take regular walks in a local park. You know, if it's not feasible for you to go and do any of this other thing, there is a park just about near to anyone. Take a walk. Look at the big tree. Every time you see a big tree and just go, wow, hi tree. You know, I would tell you to hug it, but then if that's not something that you would think that you could relate to, then that's fine. Just go under it. No, there's people, it doesn't matter because that's the ego. There's the ego saying, oh, you're going to look weird. Don't do that. Right? So catch the ego. Spend family time in nature. So important. Even if it's a small picnic. Hey, kids, let's go out. You know what? I'm just going to make a couple of sandwiches. There you go, and eat it in the park. Yeah, Mom, we don't have time. I don't want to go. Yeah, we'll just go eat at the park and come back. We don't have to spend there. But get out there. Get those feet on that grass or on the soil. Be mindful of the natural cycles. You know, when it comes to eating, so important because of where we live and the facilities and all the available things for us, all the available services, we get to eat fruit out of season. You know, they bring it from South America and they have opposite season and, you know, it's an overnight flight. So why not, right? But if you're aware of the seasons, then you stay away from that and you eat the seasonal stuff, seasonal foods that's available rather than going outside that area. It's okay to dehydrate some stuff that you like and then eat them off season. It's not really the same thing, but to respect that seasonal change and understand that that also is happening inside your body, although you don't see it, and then nurturing it in that direction absolutely helps balance your doshas rather than putting them out of balance. Being mindful of the natural cycles is just so important. Sit under a tree, like I talked about this in so many times. It's so huge. Just feel energy. You know, it's sometimes I would say that you go sit under a tree and, you know, even if you don't want to meditate, just close your eyes and feel and see in your mind that the energy, the oxygen that's coming from the tree is going into your body, and the carbon dioxide from your body is going into the tree. And this recycling is really what's happening. The tree is recycling, and so are you. Is we're helping each other live. It just is an amazing feeling. It's an amazing experience if you actually allow the experience to sink in, rather than saying, oh, it's just a tree. No, it's not just a tree. It's a living organism that is giving you life. And you're also doing the reciprocal. You know, you just mentioned that you were journaling. Journal in nature. You know, go sit in the backyard, go sit under a tree, go sit by a creek or a river and draw or paint or write a poem or write your thoughts. It doesn't matter. Just that connection is an amazing feeling. And on top of it all is the mindful breathing. Because air is a major part of life for us, it really is life in a way, right? It's important to connect with that as you are inhaling and as you are exhaling, understanding that you're just adding life to yourself. Same thing with eating. When you eat, notice that you're just adding nourishment to your body, and this thing that you're eating is going to become you. This air that you're breathing is going to become you. And so you realize that it's more than just breathing. It's really nurturing your body. And so then you start appreciating it, giving more gratitude to a simple act of breath. It's keeping you alive. And then you are at the service of the tree. So you're also keeping the tree alive. And there's so many other organisms, like deep in the ocean, single cell organisms that are a major factor in keeping us alive on this planet. And so understanding this stuff kind of, in a way, humbles you. And then you really feel the gratitude, not just by words. You feel it deep inside. Just talking about it right now, I can feel it. The gratitude that everything is in our service to help us live this life. And so we will also be of service to others, to everything else. I can't say this enough about the walking barefoot on soil or grass. I don't know how I spell grass like that, but so important. So important. And I think that sometimes when you say that to people, they go, I walked on grass, nothing happened. Yeah, something did happen. Yeah, you will. Yeah, yeah, it does. That connection does actually work. It goes all the way up. And especially if you can do it mindfully and allowing that energy to go through your body all the way up to your crown chakra, you will feel a huge difference because you're balancing your chakras. And that is our week 8. Walking in nature is the next thing. So let us pause this, or actually stop recording, and then we'll go walk.